All right, so here we are again in Pax Dei. What are you doing out at 3 o'clock? Well, 3 p.m. is when I'd love to be out all the time, but I do have something I do on Sundays and Wednesdays at Wednesdays at 3 p.m. So it's whatever it is. But this is the newest, not Epiousios. Sorry. We're doing it live. Why are we doing it live? Because I just got in with Johan, and I just read Discord, and yet another person is having this lockup on their plot, but it comes with certain symptoms. We're going to talk about that. I'm also going to look again at this price scheme, because many of you are leaving that trial period, or will be, or have. You bought the base game, and that token became worth the rest of the days, the 23 days beyond that 7-day trial, which will never end. These newests have no date. I am not doing dateable newests. This is the newest, and it might be the newest to you in the future as you joined Pax Dei. So, for those of you who join me regularly, just curious as to what I will do, hoof and mouth disease and all that. We don't have mounts yet. We also don't have cat girls yet. So we also don't have buy orders yet. We also don't have bunny-driven sleighs yet. We also don't have... Anyway, so let's go to the intro. So refreshing. Wat ik wilde nu doen, antwoord with God, dat ik half de uren stedens. Ik wilde nu voort, aan zieken dat heel, aan ik was kind. So again, in Pax Dei, here are the newest. Thank you for joining us. Why do you do the intro? Because I like the intro. It reminds you every time of where Pax Dei by Mainframe Studios intended to be. We had torches, but the movement was strange. When we ran with them, they shook back and forth. When you walked with it, it was fine. It's as you would expect if you run with a torch. But maybe there were some interesting aspects to crowding us with objects that were very animated and had a lot of demand on the load of the whole system at the time. You can see the horse. That horse is a laden horse with gear, not the avatar. In fact, moving away from the idea of an internal inventory and having to actually have packs on us, besides what we could carry in what Johan's wearing now, which wouldn't seem like much unless it was in your hand, have a little stash dangled from your tunic, inner belt there, and there's other places you could put items, but otherwise, if you're not wearing a pack or some load-bearing satchel or, of some sort, whatever, we shouldn't be able to carry much. And that's just the way it is. That would add a great sense to the kind of realistic time that Mainframe wants us to spend, because they do need that, and the quality of that time spent dealing with a pack, different kinds of packs, heavy load packs for ore, lighter packs for those going out and getting herbs, maybe packs that look different for packing different things. Why not? Why not? What, 4 extra things? 4 extra individual packs that have different capacities and just looks. Could you pick up different things in them? I don't know. Would you do that? Would it increase wear? Could that kind of advance weirdness? Like, you wouldn't want to put stones in some packs that are made for, herbology or, gathering, whatever, softer, more crushable things. That you need to preserve their juices, preserve their essences, things like that. You don't want to be dumping stone dust all over them. And, the gems and whatever. This is cool stuff, but it's the kind of thing that Mainframe wanted, with the aprons, with the different wearables that we're only seeing a repeat of now, different bits of arms and weaponry, many different ideas as far as what they thought Pax Dei could be, and Pax Dei still can be. Unfortunately, it comes down to money, doesn't it? You can only move forward so fast if, with the money you have. This is the truth. You just can't pull Pax Dei out of the ether. Unreal costs money, plugins cost money, assets cost money, creating them yourself costs time and money. You need the power on to do anything on your computer, and it starts there. So, at the end of your trial, at the beginning of your trial, you got a token that was worth 7 days. And at the end of your trial, if you bought the base game, you have a token that's now worth 23 more days, but you're eventually headed toward a head, aren't you? Do I want to subscribe? Do I really want to? I see these people with problems around me. Their plots are getting locked up. They seem to be getting homesteaded right in the middle of their own plot. They're getting put on homesteader status. I'll just leave it at that. Because, the symptoms aren't out there. The pathology and everything is what Mainframe can see. And I see different cases as people come up with different problems. And part of this really seems to be that they can't use the benches anymore. Private locked. And that's a quality of homesteader right there. And it might be a quality of villager. I've been paying attention to the homesteader. And there's a little bit of difference. There's that 36-hour delay on anything that's been laid in that last 36 hours structurally. Or, a case, a chest, a storage, whatever. You can get in and out of storage, but you just cannot destroy anything. And I've noticed a delay when you get into your plots. So anyway, something is afoot. And we should receive pay. And I'll bring that up. We have earned pay. But here's about us paying. But I have something a lot more interesting than you spending money. Let's quickly look. The first thing they put forward is your game, your choice. You have this bonus. You're like, okay, I do not like this slow grind. Well, you can get it 50% faster. Your experience, your grace from gold offerings, and the daily grace you receive by logging in. That means when I pay for 20 gold for 10 grace, I get 15. That's nice because you actually can cover the monthly cost with a lower amount of logins. But this premium status, as it is called, maintain one plot by spending grace. That's something you get as a benefit. You're allowed to do that. But you can do that anyway. You always get grace by logging in. You get 10. Of course, you get 15 if you have the bonus plan. What is your time worth? Well, that costs you $4 a month. Just leave it at that. $4 a month, add a cent, throw away a cent, $3.99, whatever. That means if you buy a plot at the end of this month, or at the end of your first 30 days, which many of you are reaching, and many of you are reaching out to, that first plot's only going to cost you $3 if you have a bonus plan. Because the bonus plan will cost you $3.99 a month, whether you have a plot or not. You are not part of the bonus plan when you end your trial. You just have the base game. So we're going to look back at this. Where are you now? You're not subscribed. You just want another token. Yeah, because if your grace plot is about to expire and you don't have enough grace, you can put a token on your grace plot. And then you can move it back to grace later, as long as it's your only grace plot. Right? So you wouldn't want one in between times, you just have to wait. Or, as soon as you get grace, you could lift up that token, which will still keep counting down from the day you placed it first. But you can put it somewhere else. Or whatever. Whatever you want to do, depending on how grace comes and how grace goes. Now, when you buy a plot token, one costs you $4.99. No ifs, ands, or buts, no bonus plan. It's a straight $4.99. When you buy five, $4.99, 5, that's going to be, how many times? 4, 25. When you buy 10, was that 450? 450, excuse me. 450 a piece. So $4.99 for one, 450 a piece for 5. Eat 450 a piece for 5 when 5 are purchased. And for 10, it is $4.25. When you just add a cent, take away a cent. $4.25, 424 point, well, how many divisions? Never mind, a tenth. Anyway, so the plot to 0.1. So it's this bundle of 10 plots, 425, 450 for 5 each. Each plot costs you 450 and 499 when you buy one. What was the thing back here? That is $3.99 a month, and you're always paying for this bonus. So therefore, with the bonus, which you do not, you could subscribe to one plot and a month of premium status. You see, there's no choice besides just buying a token to subscribe. So really, with this bonus, your first plot only costs $3 a month, because the bonus is costing you $3.99. Therefore, the total of $6.99. Funny though, when you have 2 plots and you remove the $3.99, you have 7 remaining. So that's $3.50 a plot. $3 for 1 plot, $3.50 for 2. For 4 plots, this costs you $3.75 a plot to subscribe. Now notice this, you can subscribe to the monthly just for $3.99. These plots are cheaper than the tokens. You know, these plots are cheaper at $3.75. When you buy 4, you'll see that you can't buy 10. No. It's the premium 6 plots. $3.99 subtracted, right? So that gives you $23 to separate by 6. You know, happily, 23 by 6. Let's see, that's going to be, that is a tough one. 21 is 7. So, you know, right? It's a multiplication of these. It's just going to be $4. So, well, here, let's just do a little bit of justice to what my brain can't come up with without me thinking too damn much, which I loathe. I always think too much. People tell me all the time. Divided by 6. Hold it. This is with the monthly. So $26.99 minus $3.99 equals 23. We knew that. Divided by, though, 6. 383. So 350. I see it. Yeah, I was gonna see 375, but so 350, 325, $3. It goes up in price as you go. So let's not have any more fun with that. You'll have to decide. But that's just an interesting point when it comes to the purchase of plots. Anyway. Refreshing. Now, really quickly, and I thank you for your patience at the 13th minute. I congratulate you and applaud you for being so absolutely resilient to the temptation to go watch Syphil and Ollie. Syphil and Ollie, if you've not checked them out, is one of the most fantastic things that ever happened to the guy who wrote Lime. It's not Lime Neeson, of course. Anyway, my United States, whatever. Okay, let's do something quick, Johan, before it runs out. Green. This is not always the case, and you know it. Anybody who has watched my stuff before, this is Lagerta's over here. Run. Huh? Well, I can get it. I don't want to destroy. Hold it. Right. I've done this before. This is Johan's stuff right there. Well, that's. Oh, Candy Twist put it back. It was Johan's, or I removed. So I can destroy it. You know this is new. If you don't, it is. I have not been logged in, and unless while sitting in the lobby things timed out in World. No, that's not the way. That's not typical. It's not. Oops, excuse me. Call me up. There you go. You're building on an extended plot area. Glad that came up for all of you. For all of you who are new. I can't place. Hold up. Whoa. Did we just see the mesh thing? Okay, so we use a texture landscape. That single sheet of excuse me, Steam. Cut it up. Oh, no, that's me. Ach, Himmel. I do have it on. I swear I do. Boo. So, I want to know if it went down here. I can't see any difference. There's no stone under here. So, that's why I put this stuff here. I thought it was safe. If you have a stone, I had a theory going that if you put something on the texture landscape here, this sheet that all the hair plug grass is plugged into, right? Hair club for men, right there, or ladies. And, you know, they have the stone, and they have gaps in the stone below this texture. Things will go to the stone. Well, I had a theory. Just don't know right now. Nah. Monkey nuts. Literally. I had a little barrel. I had a... Relog in. Okay, I won't do it with that. Monkey. Yeah, that was a little barrel. I want my little barrel back. Okay, well, you just saw that. You see, I just said to a person in Discord, there are variations on this theme. Things happen. And is it initial happenings? Birds disappearing after you hit them? After the blood disappears? We're going to go see if we can run a path. Then we're out of here. Isolet's place. Isolet's place! Look at it! It is collapsing. He's like, I'm going to do something else. It can happen. Last time his chests were not Ia. But I hit them and ran along them as if they were. Johan, give it a go, sport. There we are. Boo, 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 boo. We're doing the Superman. It's like a motorcycle stunt show. Well, without the motorcycle. It's because Isolate put too many R's in his title. This is doing it to us all. All of you who are doing that stuff. Hello, guys. Laudnas. Jevaglan. Isolate shares with Laudna. But his building's gone. Johan, you look like, is it Dorf? You know, Tim Conway doing Dorf. Dorf does building. Dorf does golf. Dorf does boxing. Dorf does horse racing. Wow. This has been plaguing people. I was standing on my own stuff, right? I was standing on my own stuff. So, without beleaguering the audience, you have experienced this already. It gets better. It becomes solid. But it takes time. Dude, glitches don't take time. Glitches are glitches. Bugs, well, don't take time. Bugs are bugs. This is maybe an agreement that is not happening. Because I look at Flo's place over there. That's the one with the tall spires, you know, has the columns sticking up in the air. But he had vine work and all that stuff as he gathers more material or you know, works on that Frank Lloyd Wright project right there. I like Frank Lloyd Wright a lot. I was very but I was very dismayed when someone was like, Frank Lloyd wrong. Look, man. Architecture should not be art. And maybe he crossed the line a bit. Architecture needs to be architecture first. No matter how different it is from the pedestrian stuff he rebelled against. Fountainhead, anybody? Ayn Rand? Check out Ayn Rand. She ain't so bad. Communist mistress. Hey, we hired Kamala Harris for vice president. Oh no, I better get out of here. You guys are all going to go crazy on me. We're at nearly a few minutes. Hold on, do I have something else? I have something else. Do we have something else? I just bought plots before logging in. And I want to make that known. I want to make that known. I want to brag. So now I have 11. So buy them before. I just said, someone was like, I bought plots and I don't see them. Okay, if you buy them in-game because you realize in-game you need them, right? Then you will want to, I think it's best to log out. Then you can go into account from your settings bar. So that you get the same one that shows up. Well, nearly. You don't have unstuck, right? And do you have credits? Maybe not. So in the lobby you do have a count though, and you need to go to your count, right? And that's very nice. And that's where I just looked at the comparisons. It takes you to the web page. And so as long as you have an account, you can purchase. Steam, I'm not sure how that's working. I would have to buy a brand new game and see if I could subscribe through Steam again to reestablish a subscription. But as soon as I interrupted that subscription, when the previous launcher shut down, there was a offsite. Never mind. Anyway, things changed. I lost my ability to make payments. Spire had explained in Discord, Spire being one of Mainframe, that might be. It's not Peter because Peter uses his name. Spider might be Solka. I'd have to look up exactly who they call themselves from the list of people who were there. So it might be Solka, but there's other people too that could be. I don't know. Where's Itu, right? Where's Rainier, right? Where's Lars? Where's the ladies? Ansu, right? Because there's many females. They're about half and half, which is a good ratio when you want a beautiful game with a deep sense and one that's mechanically, enriching. Right? Anyway. So what you do is you buy it, you log in, they show up. If you're in game, they might not show up, and you might be like, oh, I have to log in. So just take care of that. As soon as you're in here, as you can see, I do not have a Grace plot. So I could assign any one of these to the Grace. But I would like to build up my Grace to do other things with, and I don't need one for a plot right now. But I could say, hey, I could select one, make sure they're on Clan All, or villagers and up if you got that homesteader issue. I do not even know. That's an experiment that's even difficult for me to do with 7 accounts that I can control. Because with some of these banger bugs going around, you can't always tell exactly what's happening when. Alright, so I can auto-renew, or I can add a month right now. Because maybe I want to be gone for a week. And I don't want to auto-renew. I just want to be secure. Man, maybe I heard this thing that they won't let them auto-renew in Discord, which I have not seen in my case. I have not seen any of that in my case. Or they wouldn't let someone place a plot token on top of a Grace. Or there were some other issues. Because, the way people describe it can often lead to the only variation. While the effect in game may be very similar to each other, the way they describe it makes it seem as if they're different. Or they are. Anyway, so I can add a month. Not doing it right now because I'm doing something else. But I can. I have the power. I can just go bam. And now I don't have to worry about it for 36 or 30, whatever, 31 point something days. Right? So beautiful. The Grace plot, though, I want you to notice, which isn't here, you cannot renew it. Well, you can't extend it. You cannot add a month. Via token or Grace. You have this much Grace. I can do 1, 2, 3, you think. I'll get 3 months ahead on the Grace plot. No worries, and then I'll just work so hard, you'll forget about it. You only have 20 Grace when you need to renew 3 months from now. But they won't let you. They won't let you until that first Grace placement is at 29 days. That first day has eclipsed. So it's the 29 days. Then you could add another 30 days. So you'll never have more than 59 days on your Grace plot, but that's pretty cool anyway. All right, I'm out of here. I thank you very much. Johan, you have been such a sport. We're going to go on with building. Oh, man. I don't want to grind sand out of Nice. I might need sand, though. All right. If you are enjoying Pax Dei, or you've just heard of Pax Dei, or you're wondering why my mouse is so fast, I'm working on that. I've got a couple conflicts going on. Maybe you do, too. Maybe some Windows 11 non-voluntary mouse accuracy speed, which does cause changes, and I turned it off before, but it seems to come back with updates. Which Windows 11 is known to do, is to reflip all your switches, or many thereof. So just double check that. Maybe I'm doing it myself in my sleep. Anyway, Johan, thank you very much. This is the newest. This is Deep for Play. I am Bender. This is Johan. You will see Catnap, Twist of Candy, who has had to change her name because someone else had Twist of Candy. Funny that. La Gerda, Obligato, Mortitwi, and Garatina, of course. Got to get her in Celine. Celine has been a problem also, but it might not be the problem people think it is. I don't think it's a whole server problem there. I think it's a particular area and heavy use problem. Could be totally wrong. We'll find out. Maybe never. I'll speculate on it forever. Thank you very much for joining me. Take it easy, everybody. Johan, let's do that thing. The outro.
Wat ik wilde nu doen, antwoord with God. Dat ik warf de uren steeds. Ik wilde nu voort, aan ziegen dat heel. Aan ik zoals geen. Wat ik wilde nu doen, antwoord with God. Dat ik warf de uren steeds. Ik wilde nu voort, aan ziegen dat heel. Aan ik zoals geen.